patients having colectomies. So I'm not sure this is where Composer is going to go myself, but I think this idea is very exciting in terms of looking at barrier dysfunction, fluorescein leakage, cell shedding, and that seems to be quite powerfully predictive for whether or not patients achieve remission in the long term. So finally, coming to logistics, and I think this is a big deal, and I can see Melanie's in the audience, Melanie Lockett, who presented on this from Bristol a few years ago, and I was very struck by the problems of people who don't come for surveillance. So in terms of what we actually do, so we meet people in clinic, we risk stratify them, we say, it's your time to come for colonoscopy. You've then got to get them to come for the procedure. And that's harder than it looks. Unfortunately, patients don't do what we say all the time. You've then got to do the effective colonoscopic surveillance, and we talked about prep and technique and colonoscopy, and they've got to have had a nice enough time, so you've got to have had one of Roger's very gentle and pain-free colonoscopies so that they agree to come back again. They need to have not been incontinent with the bowel prep, they need to be CO2 so they're not incontinent after the procedure and didn't have lots of pain, and then you get them back again. And in colitis, this is a lifetime disease. They've got to go through this cycle a lot. So it's actually very challenging to achieve. And this is from the Sesame cohort, again, in France. You've got 9 centres there, and this is, do people get the colitis surveillance that was expected? They expect people to come about every 3 years. So if we look at the all-comers bar, out of 9 centres, the mean attendance was about 55%. And if we're not going to get everybody to attend every time, but if we said if we could get 80% of people to attend, that might be reasonable. Only one centre managed to get, even for UC patients, all of them to attend at that kind of rate. And most centres, some of the centres way lower than that. So getting people to come is really hard. We need to think about how we're going to do that. And I suspect it's not going to be us doing it, but I suspect it will be having good quality databases and our inflammatory bowel disease specialist nurses supporting us and getting patients and reminding them, and telling them that actually it was all okay and that we will do it very, very nicely for them. And it's just a final bit of data. It's hard to prove the benefit of colitis surveillance and getting people to turn up and do this. But this is in a recent paper in hepatology for patients with PSC, and it's about what people who died, how many of them, what proportion died of colorectal cancer. And you can see the surveillance is about 18 or 19%. If you don't have surveillance, about half the deaths are due to colorectal cancer. So probably, if we can get people to come, we are doing them some good. So what are the key messages here? Essentially, the important thing here is not the dye spray and the HD and the operator or even the bowel prep. They've got to come for the procedure. The logistics are what matters. And then if you can get them to come, you do something effective, and hopefully you do it in a way that they will come back. But if you're not getting them to turn up, you're never going to prevent colitis-related cancer out in the community. Thank you very much.